Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda, and today I'm going to be talking about the All Souls Trilogy by Deborah Harkness. For those of you who haven't read the trilogy or haven't finished the trilogy, don't worry. I'm going to give a spoiler-free review based on just my thoughts around overall pacing, the world, the characters, the plot, etc. Don't worry, no spoilers ahead. Overall, I have to say that I really enjoyed this trilogy. I'm not typically drawn to fantasy type books, but I have to say that I really enjoyed the way Deborah Harkness built her world in each of the three books. Was quite compelling. I also enjoyed her take on interspecies relationships and dating. I felt like she built the tension in such a way that it felt fresh and it felt new. So though I've had exposure to demons and witches and vampires in other books, other movies, other stories, this felt fresh and new. I also felt like she did a really good job of setting out the story and plotting and pacing so that each individual book had its own purpose and it never felt forced or like there was a lull. She kept the tension going enough that it was compelling. She built compelling characters that readers cared about, that kept you enthralled, even though it was 1,600 pages of book. So overall, I really enjoyed Deborah Harkness and I enjoyed her story. Book 1, A Discovery of Witches, sets up the majority of the characters that we'll encounter throughout the duration of the series. As I said before, Diana Bishop is our heroine, and she is an American researcher from Yale studying at the Bodleian Library. She's studying alchemy at the Bodleian Library in Oxford, England. And she is a witch, however, she's turned her back on her powers. And so they accidentally come out, they don't intentionally come out. She has trouble controlling them. She doesn't have a coven. She doesn't seek out the fellowship of other witches. So she's quite taken aback when she sends a note, or she sends a slip and requests from the Bodleian Library an ancient text, Ashmole 782. And Ashmole 782, when it arrives, she can sense its power, she can sense its magic. But she has no idea that this is a sought-after manuscript that potentially reveals the secrets of the genesis of demons, witches, and vampires. It's been missing for centuries. She calls it, she opens it, and the power sort of exudes so that all demons, witches, and vampires then are drawn to the Bodleian. And everyone finds out that it's Diana Bishop who's managed this key piece of magic. Unfortunately, when she opens it, it's illegible. It's missing 3 key pages, and because it's a living document or a living manuscript and it's missing these pages, it's illegible. The words don't make sense, they're inconsistent, and they seem to be scrolling around on the page. So she can't read it. She's very intimidated of this magic, and so she sends the manuscript back. Unfortunately, the damage is done, and her life is in danger, even from other witches, because everyone is seeking out the power contained in Ashmole 782 and the secrets of existence. One of those people who's also seeking Ashmole 782 is Matthew Clairmont. Matthew Clairmont is our hero through the series, and he is the very typical romantic hero. He is dark, he is mysterious, he is educated, he is well-spoken, he's deep, he's brooding, and he's dangerous. And he's drawn to Diana Bishop. Initially, he's drawn to her because of Ashmole 782, but he finds himself falling in love with her. And that love is a dangerous love that's forbidden. Interspecies dating, romance, long-term relationships, it's forbidden, and it has been for centuries. And because it has been for centuries, witches, vampires, and demons don't find themselves getting along. They don't have societal links and friendships. Obviously, some of the undertones in this book have to do with our society today, racism, sexism, some of the struggles that we ourselves have today, but it's set obviously with demons and witches and vampires. And it does a really good job of setting up this tension. And at the end of this book, Matthew and Diana realize that they need time. They need time to hide and to regroup. Diana needs to discover the strength and the source of her power. They need to find Ashmole 782, and they need to hide from the council that seeks to punish them for their forbidden love. And that takes us to book 2. Book 2 has Diana and Matthew back in Elizabethan England, hiding, so to speak, in time from the council. Also hiding in a time where Diana can work with very powerful witches to find the source of her magic and to help harness it. They can also locate Ashmole 782 in Elizabethan England because they don't believe that the book was damaged in Elizabethan England. They believe that Ashmole 782 is whole and thus legible, and they want to discover the secrets and they want to take it back to present day. Now, in this book, I really enjoyed the world that Deborah Harkness sought out. Her words illustrate not just a beautiful world with witches and demons and vampires, but a beautiful world in Elizabethan times, where some of our key characters like Christopher Marlowe, the playwright, and Queen Elizabeth I, Henry Percy, Earl of Northumberland, and Mary Sidney, Countess of Pembroke, real-life historical figures roamed the streets of Elizabethan England and encountered Diana and Matthew. It's really fun to have factual bits of history and fictional bits of history sort of colliding together to create this whole new world. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but there are about 40 different true historical figures that she wraps in some way, shape, or form into the story. I found that it worked, and I found that it was a lot of fun. The one thing that I didn't really care for about the book, it felt like Harkness was consistently trying to keep up the tension. So in doing so, she would, particularly with respect to Diana's magic, she would develop the magic and then take some of the power away, and then she would have some more power, she would find the power, she would find the strength, and it would be taken away. And I found this 2 steps forward, 1 step backward to be a little bit of a drag to the story, but overall it didn't cut my enjoyment of the characters and the plot. Which takes us to book 3. And in book 3, Diana and Matthew return to present day, but they don't return to present day as they left. They actually return to present day about a year later. So their absence has been noticed. The characters that we met in present day that didn't travel with Matthew and Diana have lived lives. Things have happened. The tension with the council has continued to rise. So we have to catch up with what's going on present day. And of course, Diana and Matthew return changed, having learned something. Unfortunately, they were not able to locate and bring back Ashmole 782. They have to find it in present day, and they also have to find the 3 missing pages, put the book back together, and understand the secrets of Ashmole 782, because they truly believe that when they get the secrets of the book, they will understand the secrets of their origin, and it will actually help end this forbidden nature of demons and witches and vampires, and their relationship will actually be okay. So the second book was really focused on Diana and Matthew and their relationship. The third book is not necessarily focused on that relationship. It obviously still exists. The third book really does focus on the politics and the interspecies relationships and this sort of uprising that's happening. Matthew is leading, and there are all different species inside of this allegiance. And as they get to know one another, I think initially the relationships were very tense, but you can see this gradual developing of the love and the respect and interspecies communication and family that should have always been there. And so you can get this sense of this is the way life should have been all along. And it really helps you to kind of root for Matthew and Diana and their fight against the council. The only problem that I had with this book was actually very similar to book 2, in that there were some inconsistencies in Diana's abilities, her magical abilities, that I felt like those inconsistencies helped Harkness keep the tension sort of going. And I don't know that it's necessarily a good thing. It was a little bit frustrating for me. I would have to say, though, I did enjoy this book. I felt like Harkness did a really nice job of really helping wrap up multiple plot lines through the multiple characters. But I felt like some of the tension that she created in this book was just for tension's sake instead of really to help drive the plot along. And so I would say this was potentially my least favorite book, but it didn't diminish my overall liking for the trilogy. So all in all, I would absolutely recommend this series, even for people who have a mild liking for otherworldly characters for fantasy books. I would say that this is a really nice series. It's very well developed. I enjoyed the characters. I very much enjoyed the world. I appreciate the way that Harkness writes. What are your thoughts? Have any of you read this series in its entirety? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? For those of you who liked the series, I would also like to point out that AMC actually created a show based on the series. It's on AMC, but I got it through Sundance on my Amazon Prime. And I really did like season 1. It's Matthew Good plays Matthew Claremont, and I would watch Matthew Good do just about anything. I think he's a very talented actor, and I feel like he makes a very good Matthew Claremont. I'm also working on my top 5 TV series today that are based on books. So if you have any suggestions, if you have any TV series that you watch regularly that's based on a book, if you want to recommend that I check that out, that would be awesome. Spoiler alert, this is actually definitely one of my top 5 TV series that I've enjoyed that's based on a book. I also want to point out that there's a standalone book. It's not a part of the trilogy, but Matthew Claremont sired Marcus, and Marcus fell in love with Phoebe over the course of the All Souls Trilogy. This book is the genesis of Marcus's story, and it furthers the romance with Marcus and human Phoebe. So I haven't read this yet. If you have, let me know if you liked it. This is on my September TBR, so I will give you my thoughts when I do my September wrap-up for sure. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you don't miss the upcoming video I have on my top 5 TV series based on a book. Thanks for watching today. I'll catch you next time.